Good morning, everyone. So welcome to the Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Donna McCartney, and I'm honored to be your worship associate today. I'm excited about today's topic because it centers on meditation, something that I've fallen in love with over the last number of years. I started about 8 years ago when I retired, and it's definitely improved my life. So I'm joined and welcoming you this morning by our minister, Reverend Sian Wiltshire, and Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministries, and Karen Magoon Pearson, who's our Director of Religious Education and for Children and Youth. So we'd also like to recognize the many volunteers that have helped to put this service together today. We respectfully recognize our church property rests on Ahashiman and Tongva land. As Unitarian Universalists, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is simply a promise that whatever our beliefs are, we will accept and encourage each other in spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all existence is interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and in our relationships, and we're committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. To our roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. For our Zoomers, please let yourself be known by writing in the chat. Good morning, everybody. I want to extend a special welcome if you're seeking a spiritual home to our visitors. We hope you'll find it here. Later in the service, we will have an opportunity for you to introduce yourself if you'd like to do so. So let our worship begin with the lighting of our chalice. So this morning, I'd like to invite Mira Hauser, also known as Luca, up here to light our chalice. And here she comes. Come on up, Mira. Let's give her a hand. Yay, Mira. You can take your mask off if you want to. So Mira is the daughter of Tatiana Hauser, and she's 9 years old. She loves to read, and she loves to do art. So as she lights our chalice, let's say our unison affirmation together. Love is the spirit of our church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace. That's good. Seek truth and love. All right. Together. Let's give her another hand. Well done, Mira, alias Luca. So please join together in singing our opening song.
Good morning, everyone. Please rise and body your spirit as we come together. Come whoever you are. The lower voices start in italics at the bottom. The choir will help you. In our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, 1,000 times. Keep that going. And then whoever else wants to come, wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come again, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. One more time.
opening words this morning come from Thich Nhat Hanh. How many people here know who Thich Nhat Hanh is? I love it. A lot of people know who Thich Nhat Hanh is. So Thich Nhat Hanh, if you didn't, if you're one of the few who don't know who he is, he's this wonderful Vietnamese Buddhist monk who started also a wonderful community called Plum Village, and I believe it's in southern France. And he has a bunch of meditations and things like that. But he's also an incredible writer, particularly around interreligious dialogue. So if you ever get a chance to read anything of his, it's absolutely wonderful. And he's also a poet. So this morning, we're going to begin with one of his poems. The good news they do not print. The good news we do print. We have a special edition every moment, and we need you to read it. The good news is that you are alive and that the linden tree is still there, standing firm in the harsh winter. The good news is that you have wonderful eyes to touch the blue sky. The good news is that your child is there before you and your arms are available. Hugging is possible. They only print what is wrong. But look at each of our special editions. We always offer the things that are not wrong. We want you to benefit from them and help protect them. The dandelion is there by the sidewalk, smiling its wondrous smile, singing the song of eternity. Listen. You have ears that you can hear it. Bow your head, listen to it, leave the world of sorrow, of preoccupation, and get free. The latest good news is that you can do it. Isn't that lovely? So this morning, because meditation was sort of, it comes from a number of different traditions, but it mainly comes out of, it's been made famous, and particularly in the West, through Buddhism, the religion of Buddhism. I thought it might be nice to have for our Time for All Ages a wisdom tale from the Buddhist tradition. So this is how this story goes. It's called A Dispute in Sign Language. A Buddhist master and his one-eyed student lived together in a monastery. One day, a young monk came to the master and said, "If you will accept me, I wish to study with you." The old master replied, "Well, decide first if you belong here. Go into the garden and speak to my student. Converse with him, and after that, come and tell me your decision." The visiting monk nervously went to the garden and saw the one-eyed monk there meditating. He thought, well, I'll show him how profound I can be. I will converse with him only using my hands. So approaching quietly, the visiting monk tapped the one-eyed monk on the shoulder and held up one finger. The one-eyed monk then held up two fingers. In response, the visiting monk held up three fingers. The one-eyed monk then held up his fist. When the visiting monk saw this, he dashed out of the garden to tell the old monk his decision. He came to him and he gasped, "I do not deserve to stay here. I am unworthy of being a fellow student with this enlightened young monk I met in the garden." The old man was sort of a little surprised, said, "Well, are you speaking of the one-eyed monk in the garden?" "Oh, yes," said the visitor. "His knowledge is far superior to mine. I will humbly leave." "Well, please tell me what happened in the garden." The visitor explained, "I approached the venerable monk and decided to converse with him in sign language. I held up one finger to indicate the Buddha, our great teacher, whereupon he held up two fingers to indicate the Buddha and his teachings, the Dharma. I persevered with the discussion, however, and I held up three fingers to show him the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the community. Then he revealed the limits of my understanding. He held up a fist to show me that they are all one. I immediately ran here to tell you that I must leave. I am not wise enough to be here." And with a heavy sigh, he left. And not just a few moments later, the young one-eyed monk came to the master monk, and he was quite upset. He said, "Where is that scoundrel? How dare he insult me?" "Calm down," said the old monk. "Please tell me what happened in the garden." The one-eyed monk explained. He said, "I was peacefully meditating when that rude visitor interrupted my concentration. When I looked at him, he held up one finger indicating that I only have one eye. I kept my temper and held up two fingers, politely congratulating on the fact that he has two eyes. Then he insulted me further. He held up three fingers, pointing out the fact that there's only three eyes among us. I could bear it no longer. I raised my fist to punch him." All the stories we make up in our head, huh? Well, that's our story for this morning. And I'd like to invite Karen McGinn-Pearson, our Director of Religious Education for Children and Youth, up here to light the children's chalice, and then we will sing our children out to the religious education classes. About meditation. I invited our meditation group leaders to come and join us today to talk about it, but we're not just going to talk about meditation, we're going to be doing some meditation. So this is an experiential service. So one of the things I wanted to just sort of reiterate to you all about meditation. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the myths around meditation, because I had these myths for years, and so I just kind of want to lay this out here for you. One of which is that people think that meditation is a religious or spiritual practice, and it can be those things, but also doesn't have to be. It does, I said, it comes out of Eastern traditions. In particular, Buddhism made it an extremely big part of their religion. But you don't have to be a guru to be good at it. It can just be a philosophy, because it's about helping your mind. And it's now used by therapists and doctors and psychologists. Everyone agrees that meditation is a wonderful thing. It's a great practice, whether you want to consider it spiritual or not. The other myth is that the goal of meditation is to clear your mind. I used to have this thought that that was the idea, is that I would have this blank mind somehow in some sort of blissful peace, where that little head that's making up all those stories about the monk, right, are not in my head. But no, that's actually not the goal of meditation. It's about watching your mind and becoming aware of all the thoughts, what Buddhists call the monkey mind, and all those, this time, I got to do this, what about that? So, and also those sort of patterns of thought that we have. And then it's about changing your relationship to them, right? Giving yourself compassion. Oh, I wonder, where did that thought come from? That's interesting. The other thing is, some people think is that you have to sit quietly in a lotus position and go, Om Mani Padme Hum. There are chants that you can do in meditation, but no. There is lots of different ways to do it, and Amelia is going to go through a lot of that. Some of them will tell you that there's a very specific way that you have to sit and do it. I remember when I went to the Zen group over here, and they're very specific about how you hold your hands and your spine and everything like that. That's okay. When you're with them, you can do it that way, but meditation doesn't always have to be so very strict. And my favorite, because I used to say this all the time, is I'm not good at meditation, right? There is no good at meditation. It's not being about good or bad at it. It's about simply being aware and constantly bringing your mind back to that awareness as best you can to be more in the moment. Now, meditation is a form of mindfulness, and mindfulness is generally about paying attention to life. It's about being aware of your mind, your body, and surroundings and practices that cultivate that capacity. And sometimes mindfulness and meditation are used interchangeably. Some people actually separate them, some people put them together. You don't have to worry about it that much. Now, I was going to quote you lots of studies about how meditation has helped you. You probably have seen them out there. There's a ton of them. Just Google, science of meditation. I mean, everything from lowering your stress, which lowers your blood pressure, giving you greater compassion. And it basically is about helping you become more mentally healthy, right? When we think about our Time for All Ages story, we have all that stuff that we make up in our head about what another person is doing, right? That's part of what meditation can help you with, is quieting that mind and help you become aware of those stories that we do. Now, Richard Davidson, in this book called Altered Traits, which is talking about how meditation can help you cultivate the traits you want, more compassion, more peace, all of those things. And he says the good news is that it doesn't take much time meditating to generate measurable results. He said, we've shown in laboratory that meditating for half an hour a day for 2 weeks is enough to produce changes in the brain. Now, most people recognize that if you go to the gym for 2 weeks and work out every day with a personal trainer, you'll feel difference. But those changes aren't going to persist unless you keep exercising. And meditation is the same way, right? It's like going to the gym, but it's for your mind. It's a form of mental exercises, and once you begin to experience those beneficial changes, you'll want to keep doing it for the rest of your life. But don't take my word for it. I've got a couple of people here who are to tell you about their experiences. So let's have Marilyn come up here first.
Good morning. I'm Marilyn Friends. After my husband died 25 years ago, I was searching for ways to cope with my loss. I started practicing yoga, which means union of the body and mind. This yoga practice led me to meditation. Meditation helped me deal with my grief, anxiety, stress, and depression. With meditation, I began to cope. Then when I joined the UU Church 10 years ago, I joined Amelia in the meditation group. I learned that I didn't necessarily have to lie down on the floor and devote special time of 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour to meditation. I learned that I could sit and meditate, I could walk and meditate, and I could meditate any time of the day. Metta meditation is a type of Buddhist meditation, which means positive energy and kindness towards myself and others. Anytime I have a minute during the day, I say in my head to myself self-affirming statements like, may I be safe, may I be free from suffering, may I be peaceful, may I be happy, may I be healthy. I keep repeating these affirmations while slowly breathing in and out. In other words, I breathe in, may I be happy. I breathe out, may I be healthy. What are the benefits of meditation? For me, when meditating, I feel more grounded, more relaxed, calmer, and more grateful. And for these reasons, I meditate. And I invite all of you to join us every Sunday before our church service at 9:45 to join in our meditation. Namaste.
Good morning. I'm Mary Smithberger, and I've been practicing meditation on and off for a long time. I like guided meditations in particular as they help me to stay focused. I usually do these meditations before getting up in the morning, so I'm laying in bed. And I like the meditations on the Plumsite Village website. They're very soothing and helpful. While meditation helps me cope with daily life, I find it especially useful when going through a difficult time in my life. Some of you may recall that I had radiation and chemo for throat cancer a few years ago. I had 35 radiation treatments and 5 chemo treatments, very intense. If you've ever gone through such a thing, you know that laying in the radiation tube and hearing the zap, zap, zap of the radiation can be unnerving and scary. There were times when other patients would go into the radiation room and become too upset to stay for treatment. But with meditation, I was able to get through all 35 treatments in peace. I would meditate on and visualize a beautiful place. For me, that was remembering a specific place in Yosemite National Park. Through this practice of meditation, I was able to remain calm during the sessions and completed all of them. I learned that the guided meditations not only helped me in my daily life, but also gave me the ability to focus in a way that helped me get through one of the hardest times in my life. I was given 4 to 5 months to live, and my good news is at 5 years, I'm cancer-free. So I've had a lot of that monkey brain business along the way, and I love that term, but meditation is really what helped me focus and take care of myself. Thank you.
Good morning. So let us try out a guided meditation on breathing. So please find a comfortable seat with your spine upright and your feet flat on the floor. Notice the contact your body makes with the chair. You feel stable but relaxed. We'll start our practice with 3 sounds of my little portable bell. As you settle in, quietly notice your in-breath and your out-breath. Give your breath a quiet, loving attention. No need to change the nature of your breath. Just notice it. If your breath is short, allow it to be short. If it's long, allow it to be long. Notice where you feel your breath the most. It may be at the tip of your nose, where you may notice the air cool on the in-breath and warmer on the out-breath. Perhaps you notice the movement of air at the base of your throat, a little expansion near the collarbone or in the ribs, or a movement outward in your abdomen when the breath comes in, and a downward movement when the breath flows out. Breathing in, I am aware of my in-breath. Breathing out, I'm aware of my out-breath. Notice the rhythm of this movement and continue to practice following the course of the breath all the way through as you breathe in and all the way through as you breathe out. Breathing in, I follow my in-breath all the way through. Breathing out, I follow my out-breath all the way through. Following the in-breath, following the out-breath. As you continue, once again notice the quality of your breath. It may be heavy or light, shallow or deep. You may notice the breath has naturally become deeper and slower, having received your full attention for a few minutes like this. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release, present moment, wonderful moment. Breathing in, I arrive with my breath. Breathing out, I feel at home. Just one breath can make us more present. We can enjoy arriving at our home in the here and the now. Thank you for practicing. And I will end with 2 sounds of the bell. Thank you.
That breathing, the choir will definitely keep singing, but you all can either sing or just continue breathing, the breathing in and breathing out. We'll start with the drone part. Ready? And breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out again, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I
So, mindfulness, a state of being fully awake and completely present in the here and now, is something we've all experienced, at least at moments. But most of us, myself included, spend a good part of our day with our minds in other places and other times. It's just a normal human thing. This is why we need regular practice. It's a type of gentle training that we can all take part in. Reverend Sian has already let us know how mindfulness practice can support our health. It also helps us not miss out on our lives, which is very important. The good news is that there are many pleasant ways to practice throughout our day. Sitting meditation is what we often think of when we refer to meditation. It's a time for mental rest and also being quietly, openly present for ourselves, starting with the breath, as we just did together. But there are other ways. Walking meditation, a favorite of mine. In this one, you can consciously connect not only with your breaths, but also with your steps and all the beauty that is around you. Any type of mindful movement is another wonderful practice. Being completely in the zone with your movement, whether it is in yoga, which is meant for mindfulness or connection, or sport, or any type of exercise, that can increase not only the safety and the benefits of the exercise, but also makes the activity more satisfying and enjoyable. I think we've all experienced moments of flow at work, whether we're doing something very skilled or very routine. We can get fully absorbed in the task, experiencing all the sensations, the water on your hands, the smell of the soap, for instance, and allowing ourselves to really enjoy it. It's very freeing to allow ourselves to do what we are doing when we are doing it, and not to be somewhere else or rushing to get through to the next thing. Another favorite of mine, eating meditation. Before you start a meal, and for the first few minutes of eating, you can settle into your chair, get in touch with your breath, and really perceive the food with all your senses. You can also contemplate all the beings that involved in getting this meal to you. The plants, the animals, the farmer, delivery people, the cook. The food tastes more wonderful than we could ever imagine. I can tell you from experience, when we're fully there for it, fully appreciating it. I believe this is why most spiritual traditions propose a moment of prayer before eating. And whenever you can take a moment and remember to do so, you can stop and refresh yourself with a sense of awe at any time of the day. And finally, a real favorite of our meditation group is deep relaxation practice. This is a type of body scan meditation that allows us to really take care of ourselves. It's essentially a relaxed, focused scan. You're relaxed but fully awake as much as you can. If you need a nap, then that's great too, But it can actually be more deeply restful than a nap. We will try a brief one together today, as a matter of fact. This one is recorded. It's a guided meditation that's available on the Plum Village app. And our leader is Sister True Dedication, a wonderful monastic from that tradition.
This is a This is a 5-minute exercise to bring clarity and calm to body and mind. First, find somewhere quiet and comfortable to sit where you won't be disturbed. A good place might be a quiet corner, a bathroom, or perhaps even a bench outside. Seat yourself upright, but relaxed, your back straight, not leaning against anything, and your feet, both feet, firmly on the ground. Your hands relaxed and heavy in your lap. Begin to bring your awareness to your shoulders. You can roll them up and back and release them. Gently lengthen the back of your neck and slightly tuck in your chin to elongate your spine. Bring relaxation and gentleness to your neck and shoulders. Now begin to bring your awareness to your breathing, to the rising and the falling of your belly. Breathing in, being refreshed by the in-breath. Breathing out, being relaxed by the out-breath. Breathing in, become aware of the muscles in your face. Breathing out, relaxing the muscles in your face, the brow, around the mouth, the jaw. Breathing in, allow yourself to enjoy a long, deep in-breath right down to the abdomen. Breathing out, enjoy relaxing. Breathing in, become aware of the ground beneath your feet. Breathing out, sink into the stability of the ground beneath your feet. Expand your awareness to this building, this space, this town, this nature. Feel this particular corner of the planet. Feel the whole earth beneath you, and feel the vastness of the sky above and beyond you. Millions and billions of stars. Breathing in, I am aware of my place in the miracle of life. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, becoming aware of my body in this immediate environment. Breathing out, I smile to my body in the here and now. Returning to our body throughout the day, we can reestablish our calm, our spaciousness, and our solidity. Thank you for practicing.
am alive right here, breathing out. My mind is clear, breathing in. My body is at ease, breathing out. I am at peace, breathing in. I am alive right here, breathing out. My mind is clear, breathing in. My body is at ease, breathing out. I am at peace, breathing in. I am alive right here, breathing out. My mind is clear, breathing in. My body is at ease, breathing out. I am at peace, breathing in. I am alive right here, breathing out. My mind is clear, breathing in. My body is at ease, breathing out. I am at peace. I am at peace.
So, one of the other myths about meditation is that we will all have this deep spiritual experience when we have meditation, when most of it is actually just sitting and breathing. But here's the funny thing, actually, one of the first times I ever meditated, I had a deep spiritual experience. I think I've told many of you, I've told this story before, that when I used to study archaeology, I found myself one day realizing that I didn't feel compassion, that I was watching a news report about a train crash and I couldn't feel anything. And I knew that was wrong. That wasn't who I wanted to be. And so I ended up leaving graduate school. And I remember once I got settled, I got a new job, I got a new apartment and everything. And I remember being like, all right, Sean, you left graduate school to become a more compassionate being. That was something you wanted to work on. So let's do that. And the only way I had heard about meditation, I knew a little bit about Buddhism, and I'd heard about this thing called Tonglen meditation. And Tonglen meditation is when you breathe in the pain of the world and you breathe out compassion. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I sat down to do this. And what ended up happening, though, is that rather than breathing in suffering, I ended up breathing in compassion from the world and breathing out compassion. And it's sort of like this circular thing started happening. And I literally started moving back and forth. And I'm like, as I'm doing this, I could feel my body and my heart just kind of open up. And it was this amazing experience. And I'm like sitting there going, this is trippy. Wow. This is wild. So that was my first experience one of my first experiences with meditation was this type of just compassion in and compassion out. And this circular thing that happens is something that I try to practice on a daily basis when I'm with people, right? It's just this compassion in, compassion out. It doesn't always work perfectly, but, I try. I like to think of it as kind of my daily prayer practice. Compassion in and compassion out. So if you ever wanted to try meditation, we have this meditation group that Amelia started. She came up to me one day, hey, what do you think about, once a month starting a meditation group before service? And I was like, sure, great, let's do it. And then I think Marilyn joined, and then she became one of the leaders of it. And then they decided to do it every week. And I heard that last time they met, they had 12 people coming to this meditation, which is just absolutely awesome. And so it's growing. And now we're like, okay, where else can we do it? Because that room's a little small. But, and this is a wonderful thing. And one of the things that I love about the way they do their meditation is that it's different each time. Each leader is different. They pull different guided meditations, so different people have different experiences and can try different ways of doing it, which is absolutely wonderful. So I want to invite you, if you'd like to try it, next Sunday, 9:45. It's in the youth room, which is just down this hall, down the way here, because I like to think that meditation is ultimately about helping you become a whole person, right? A healthy person. It's not just in the body, but in the mind and the spirit. And you are invited, one and all, to join. So let us sing.
Reconnect the part of me that knows just who I am. Reconnect the heart of me, that full of passion part of me. Reconnect the soul of me, the whole of me. One more time. Reconnect the part of me that knows just who I am. Reconnect the heart of me, that full of passion part of me. Reconnect the soul of me, the whole of me, the whole of me, the whole of me.
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and the programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing one half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month we are sharing with Stand Up for Kids Orange County. Our service today is on grounding, how we can personally ground ourselves by being in the present moment with meditation. But Stand Up for Kids provides basic grounding in the necessities of life, taking care of the needs of our at-risk and homeless youth, food, housing, clothing, mentoring, but most of all, love. There are multiple ways that you can support the church and this organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, or you can use an app called Vanco Mobile. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website, should you need it. As always, thank you for your generosity.
Receive our thanks for night and day, for food and shelter, rest and play. Be here our guest and with us stay. Saranam, saranam, saranam.
For this small earth of sea and land, for this small space on which we stand, for those we
And now please join us as we sing our offertory response. This song puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share. Right on time.
I thought, did she do that? Wow, good timing. Well, now is that time when we honor the important events and people in our lives, and you are invited, one and all, whether you're a member, a friend, a visitor, everyone is welcome to join in this weekly ritual we call Joys and Sorrows. And it's simply about coming forward and lighting a candle for that which you hold in your heart that has touched you deeply in the last days, weeks, or hours. And I'd like to invite Lori Kluge up here. She's one of our pastoral care team members, and she'll assist you in lighting a candle. So if you have something that has struck you at your core in the last days, weeks, or hours, you are invited to honor it by lighting a candle either at home, or we can light one for you here as well. If you're a roomer, you're invited to come forward to light your candle. And if you'd like to share that joy or sorrow, you can write it on a slip of paper. The ushers have them here, and they'd be happy to give them to them if you didn't get one when you first came in. Just simply come forward, hand it to me, and then light your candle. If you're a Zoomer, you are invited to write your joy and sorrow in a chat if you would like to share it, and then Lori will light a candle for you. So, all right, once the roomers are done lighting their candles, I'll read all the joys and sorrows out loud. And as music is played, I invite you to silently offer healing or celebration as you feel called and according to your own beliefs. So please come forward. So for the Zoomers, Kathleen McFarland would like to ask everyone to keep Mark R. in your hearts this coming week. He's really struggling with cancer taking over his body in a big way. Barbara Schilling, is staying with her sister Mary for a broken leg. She says, a candle of gratitude for her sister Mary and all that she's done for me. She also asked that you also light a candle of healing for her sister Mary as she recovers from COVID. She's on her 6th day of it, and we hope she recovers very quickly. Matthew P. says he has a joy from the first week of school at Lutheran College and all of its challenges was accentuated this weekend's virtual Burning Man event called Reburn. He said, I've been able to reconnect virtually with so many people. Also, last night's Ethiopian dinner auction event was incredibly fun. Right on. Oops. And I lost the chat here. Hold on just a second. Let's see here. Valerie Armstrong, she writes, she says, I'm heartbroken for Tyre Nichols, for the pain he felt in his last hour on earth, for the pain his family is suffering and will always suffer, for the fear and pain so many others will suffer vicariously. And from Maryland, I'm sure this is Maryland G, a candle of gratitude for this church who have truly shown me that, quote, love is the spirit of this church, unquote. She said, I appreciate your support as I go through my cancer treatment regime. And Sarah J., who is our administrator, she wrote a candle of gratitude for all of the caring thoughts and prayers sent to me from you all while I was been sick. And she'd also like a candle of sorrow because her husband's sister Cynthia passed away unexpectedly on Wednesday. And today would have been her 69th birthday. Okay, so make sure I've got everybody here. And I was wondering if you could also light a candle for me. My aunt passed away this week. She was a vivacious woman, the life of the party, and yeah, so I will miss her. And then the very next day, her great-granddaughter, Hazel May, was born. Life goes on. Yeah. So here in the room, people lit candles. Lori K., who's right here, she says, thanks to Linda S. for providing the wonderful auction event, a trip to Riverside to see the amazing Cheech Marin art collection. Right, and if you haven't been there, it's supposed to be really cool. I haven't been there yet. And Sandy Martin lit a candle because these beautiful flowers over here are in honor of her husband Don's 83rd birthday on Tuesday. Right on. And John and Mifanwi Kaiser, they have lit a candle of joy for celebrating their 38th wedding anniversary. Where'd they go? Where are they? There they are. Hi, guys. Okay. And Tatiana H., she lit a candle of joy. She says, yet another shelter family is moving into a rented apartment. For those of you who don't know, we have Ukrainians here in a shelter here with us. And so that's what she's talking about. Yet another shelter family is moving into a rented apartment next week. So glad we could help them get on their feet. That's what we're here for. So. And Jennifer T., she lit a candle of joy. She said her daughter Mary, and she went to the Chalice Unitarian Universalist Church in Newbury Park, just up north, and last week when she was up there visiting her daughter, and she said her daughter is returning today. She liked it so much. Right on. All right. And Mary S. here had a candle of both thanks and of sorrow. She is first thankful for this loving, supportive congregation, and she also lit a candle of sorrow for the passing of Ryan, who was 41 years old from a massive stroke, leaving a 3-year-old and his wife. And Dave C. also lit a candle of concern and healing for a good friend, Gary, who recently lost both of his legs to a cardiovascular disease. Wow, that's hard. And both Pat Larkin and Craig P. also wanted to light a candle. They lit a candle for Tyre Nichols. Is it Tyre or Tyre? I'm not sure. never heard it both ways. His family and our nation. She says, rest in peace. And Craig says, it's a sorrow for me and all people grieving the death of Tyre Nichols, who died January 10th after a traffic stop by Memphis police, and a joy for meditation to help me grieve. Amen. Okay, let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, whether they were spoken or held silent in our hearts. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all these moments remind us that we are not alone. This morning, I want to invite you into a meditative prayer, of course, right? So maybe you heard something this morning from our joys and sorrows, something that maybe touched you. I want to invite you, soften your eyes, take a deep breath, put your feet on the floor if you'd like. Take a couple of deep breaths. As you think of one or more of those sorrows or even celebrations, let your heart open with compassion. Feel it surround you. And send it out to that person. Send it out into this room. And then feel it coming back to you too. Make that circle of compassion just spread out like a boiling cauldron. It's coming back through and out of you, out to all of our Zoomers, to our roomers, out into this hurting world, this grieving world. And know that there is so much compassion coming back into you and holding you. Send that compassion out and breathe it in. When you breathe in compassion. When you breathe out that compassion. Know that every week you can do this too. Blessed be and amen.
So let's join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the community, or the fire of commitment. These very hearts until we are again. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are a congregation made up of people who all believe differently, and yet, when we gather together, we are, and whether we're in the room here or on Zoom, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you are a guest or visitor or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to either write in the chat if you're a Zoomer, or if you're a roomer, to stand up for a brief moment and tell us your name and where you're from. We will bring a microphone over and hold it for you so that our Zoomers can hear your name and where you're from. Are there any guests in the room who want to introduce themselves? If so, stand up.
Hi, my name is Sarah Carlson. I am from Costa Mesa, and I am glad to be here. And it's been a long journey for me. So I like to get to know people here at the Jewish. So what I'm saying is I am very new, and I'm a neighbor with Adam. So I've been in my life, I've been in a shelter at Mercy House. So what I'm saying is, as a politeness, I am very kind, I'm very helpful, and I like to help all the people in my life. My heart has been really to see the good smiley faces, and I like to keep distance away from COVID. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, my name is Ben. I recently moved to Irvine, and I was looking for a community and found this online. And so I'd like to get to know everyone here.
All right.
Glad you're here. Thank you.
Welcome, and thanks so much for coming.
Hello, my name is Ala. I met Craig recently, like a week ago. He was. I'm actually blessed that I met Craig. That he's helping my friends from Ukraine to making this sponsorship. They are in Ukraine right now. You know what's going on with this war, and they're trying to move to USA. And Craig has big heart to help them. Thank you.
I want to thank the church and thank you, Tatiana, for coaching us. Thank you for the movie we got through the auction, and just what a great learning for us to come together as a community, because we can't do it alone. So, thank you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, and welcome. So if you would like to know more about our church, including programming for our youth and children, please contact us at hello@ocuuc.org, and we will be happy to get you connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help get you connected.
So there's lots of stuff going on here, as you can see. Well, wait a minute. You can almost see. There we go. Whoop. That's right. One of the things I wanted to update you guys on, so if you remember, about a year ago, we decided to take on work with Home for Refugees, which is an organization works with various refugees. They work with Ukrainians, Afghanistan, all sorts of different refugees. And we took on a family here. There were 5 of us here who are the core team. Core team members are myself and Paula, Marilyn, Giss, Judith Stamper. Judith is somewhere in here as well. I can't remember. Oh, no, she's with the kids. And Barbara Schilling. And we've been meeting with this family now for 6 months. I want to let you know that they're doing really well. There's a whole family of 9 of them that came over. We can't tell you their names because there's still family members back in Afghanistan. But we call them sort of lovingly the cozy family because they're very grateful. I can't tell you how grateful they are to be with us. And we're trying to find ways of also some ways of supporting them, but also so that you can also experience them. We're going to have you come and meet them at some point. But Paula also worked with the mother, Shugla. I shouldn't have said her name, but anyway. And okay, this woman is the most amazing cook. Okay, I gotta tell you, just amazing cook. And so she bakes some bread that she's selling here. So this Sunday you can buy a loaf of S's bread. We'll say that. So at any rate, so I just want to let you know about that. There's a whole thing in the Reach also about the Cozy family as well. We've also got a couple of things coming. You can see we've got some wonderful programming coming up. The Orson Scott Card, if you don't know who that is, he wrote a famous book that made a movie called Ender's Game, and he wrote a series of 5 books. And the thing about Orson Scott Card, even if you don't agree always with his politics, is that he asks these really deep, amazing questions about life and the meaning of life and what's involved and everything. And Maureen wants to start a group around discussing these concepts that are brought up in these books. So if you're a geek like me and Maureen. Maureen's over here in the green. Please let her know, and she will find a time that works for everybody. And you can also email her there. If you couldn't get that or something, just email me. And I'll get you connected with her. And then we've got everyday spiritual practices coming up in March. We'll say more about that at a later time. I also did want to mention that also Maureen runs a sermon discussion group. You can tell she's retired now, so she's doing all these things, yes. So she runs a sermon discussion group, and these are groups that people get together the following week after a service, and they discuss it a little bit more, and they go a little bit deeper into the topic. And if you would like to do that, she's got room in her Tuesday evening group. They meet, I think, from 7 to 8:30 or so. So please contact her, or again, contact me, and I'll get you in touch with her if you'd like to join that. If it's on Zoom, so Zoomers, think about that as well. All right, I think that's. Well, there's so much stuff going on here. I tell you, the AHA group, Agnostics, Humanists, Atheist group, I'm actually going to be speaking with them next Sunday. I have no idea what I'm going to say, but if you'd like to join us after church, I'll be on Zoom. We'll be doing that, and that should be a lot of fun. And of course, Meet the Minister and newcomer orientation. So if you just want to know about this church and what we're about and how things work, and, if you're curious about me and my weird tongue in meditation, happy to talk to you about that. So that's going to be sign up. Send an email to lindasperry@gmail.com. Again, email me if you don't remember that, and we'll get you signed up for that. But that should be fun. It's always kind of fun. We do it after church and, sit around, snack and chat and answer questions, and we get to know you as well. So come on out for that. All right. For my last words, before we sing our last song together, here they are. And you get to decide what that means. Okay.
Let us go out and all do our part. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and all do our part. Bring joy to each heart. Let us go out. This service is over. Let our service continue.